Today we're going to start painting up the interior, starting with the bench. Then we're going to work on more interiors, doing the doors. And finally, we're going to talk about the car and its good and bad points. The first thing I did with the bench seat was I took it off the sprue and I temporarily put it onto a bamboo skewer. This way it made it a lot easier for me to start painting. And speaking of painting, let's get into that speed paint session. And here's the bench seat all done up in scale 75 leather brown. The scale 75 dries very, very flat. If you do get these paints, they're a little tricky to work with because they are a gel-based medium acrylic paint. So you're gonna have to practice on your mixtures and ratios for spraying. So we got a little bit more to do on this and we're gonna get to that now and show you the results. So we're into the next step of the process of the bench seat. I wanted to go with the shiny leather look where it's like worn and gets all crazy shiny and feels smooth, but the semi-gloss is way too shiny for me. This is still going to help out for when I do the wash in between all the lines in the seat, but I think once that's done, I'm going to just miscoat a flat and hopefully that knocks it back down. If not, I'll just put a total flat coat on there. So let's get to the next step of the process of the seat. It's pretty difficult to see on camera because it's dark on dark, but I went with a black wash in between the crevices of the seat. I tried a burnt sienna and also an umber, but the colors are just too close to pick those out, so I went with black instead. Next, I just have to get these buttons over here done up, and then I'm going to probably throw a flat coat on it and the bench seat is done. The seat is all done up now. It has its wash, it has its flat coat. It's not as shiny as it looks because of the light reflecting off it. It actually has a sheen like used leather seats, and we also have the little bit of buttons popped in there. So another piece down, let's move over to more of the interior. Next up, we're going to be working on the door panels. I think I'm going to try to do these two-tone. The middle will be a lighter color that'll match the floor panel of the car, and then I think I'm going to do that leather color around, and we'll do some accents on these. So let's get over to painting. Okay, here we go. Speed paint session number 2. We got our leather brown on both door panels. I was going to do the middle door panel a lighter color, but I was getting frustrated with the masking. The bottom was fine, but the top kept bleeding through, so I said, you know what? I'm going to get frustrated. I'll probably stop the build. I don't want to do that. So we went just brown. I clear coated it, so now we're going to do our detail work, and then we'll put another coat of clear on it, and we'll be done, and I'll show you that soon. I got both door panels done up the same way, both done in the leather brown. Then I used a wash in the recesses and I used the blue on the handles and another black just to get them all going. So we're moving right along on the interior. Next up, I'm going to paint the floor pan, and I'm just going to do this a flat black. I'm not really thinking about any lighter colors or anything like that, just because you're really not going to see it. And looky here, we're getting ready to paint again. Getting close on the interior parts. Now let's start putting those pedals and stuff in so we can get this done. And the next step in the interior process is going to be the dashboard. We'll get this guy all done up so we could start putting the pieces all together on the floor panel. I almost forgot about this piece. We got to do the dials up. I hit it with flat black right now. I'm going to go over it with a dry brushing of white, and then I'll do the detail painting and I'll go step by step with that. I dry brushed in the dials on the dashboard, then I hit it with a satin coat. So I'm going to let this dry, and then next up what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some future in those dials to give it a glass look. And we have the interior all put together pretty much except for the steering wheel, so we're looking good on that. Just get that in there. I used future floor wax on the dials, and for some reason it got all cloudy, and I got lucky enough to take it out without it ruining anything. So if that's happened to you, let me know in the comments below, or let me know why that's happened. So I just took it out and left the Speedo just plain like it is. Moving as fast as I can, I got onto the steering wheel. I did that a couple different colors, the blue, aluminum, and also the leather color. Got the base painted black. Sorry about the blurriness right there. And now we get to move on, clear coat it, and then put it into the interior of the car. We got the interior done up. And I'm sorry I always say we. I say that because it feels like you guys are always here building along with me. But we got the interior done up. It's trying to get good light on there for you to see it. The door panels. Hopefully you can see the instrument cluster in there, the steering wheel. All that's done. So we're gonna move on to the next step, and I'll show you what we're gonna start on doing. This is what I'm gonna start on next. I flat coated it. I'm going with the community's suggestion and leaving the upper half of the car flat. So we're going to change up the story a little bit. The young man that found the 32 Ford, he has enough money where he painted the bottom. He's doing all this work on himself. He did the engine. So now he's just doing what he can on the upper half of the car. So we're just going to do a little detail painting, like putting the blue on here, try to do the chrome or actually the blue around the windows. And there's a little piece right here we might do blue too. So I'm going to do some hand painting on that, show you that once it's all done up. There were some minor setbacks during the build last night. Unfortunately, I dropped this straight down on the tip last night, so there went the needle. I had to order 2 more, and I also dropped the body of the 32 Ford on the floor, gouged up the whole top, so I had to repaint that. Let me show you what we ended up doing. The body's back. Had to strip down the top, repaint it, and all that good stuff. We did a little detail painting on the side here. We put the handle in and a little more detail painting on the side there, and also the keyhole and the other door handle. I was going to do the little vent or whatever this may be up on the front. I painted it once. I did not like how it looked in comparison to the rest of the car. So we're just going to do a little minor detail painting on here. We're going to start adding some more parts to the main body of the car, and this may be it for the build. And the next video should be the finale of the car. The next thing up is going to be the lights. I'll pop the lenses on there. We're going to use some canopy glue so we don't frost over the lights. I painted these the blue and just an aluminum inside. So we'll get these on. I think I'll throw some parts onto the base of the car, and this way you don't have to sit here watching me do all the small parts. I'll just show you all the parts that we get done today. And I'm nearing final assembly. We did the little bit of blue. We got the windows in. We got the interior inside, which you really can't see from here. And we got the rear window in. There are a few problems. The window doesn't mate up at the bottom. So what I did was I used canopy glue, not knowing it made it up, and it made a pretty big mess at the bottom. So I had to take a toothpick and try to get that out. If you don't know what's there, you really can't tell. And you can see with the light shining off it, the windows aren't the greatest on this. So we're just gonna have to deal with it how it is. It's coming out fine, but we do have some problems. The other problem that we have is the cross member for the lights here is too short. So when I put it on one side, the other side doesn't fit. So I kind of had to put it where I thought it would fit. Thankfully, with the black, you really can't see the hole where that is. So that again is gonna have to do with how it is. And the last thing that we have a problem with is the body doesn't meet up, and it's supposed to when you're doing the fender version. So I'm gonna have a hybrid between the high boy and the regular version. So I'm gonna have to put the high boy pieces in here just to block off that little bit of gap, because even if I push it down, it doesn't sit over there. So we'll take care of that. We're doing the best we can with this kit. It's overall not the greatest kit. Overall, it's not the worst kit. So I think this is gonna be it, because I only have some minor parts to put on here, like the radiator and stuff in the front, and put the hood on. So the next time you see this car, you're gonna see the finale. Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. I hope you subscribe to the channel. Come over to community.hobbylinkinternational.com, and we'll see you in the next video.